One of the things I want to do after graduation is work within my local community.
Enroll in a Ph.D. program.
Do research in Latin America.
Policy and creating policy.
Ministry of Agriculture as a policy officer.
Working in planning.
Journalism and being able to communicate.
Sustainability officer.
Food governance and also food justice.
Eventually become a professor.
So one of the reasons food studies is becoming so popular is because people want to know where their food is coming from. They want to learn about the farmers, they want to learn about the system, and that's part of the department here is looking at it in a holistic context.
At Syracuse University, we take a particular approach, which is we look at the political economy of food and especially policy aspects. But we also have working kitchens and 3 professional chefs, so part of our approach is to look at sustainable food enterprise.
And we're focused not just on those moments where food is produced and consumed, but the connections between them.
One of the greatest things about food studies is that there is so much fluidity in what you can study, so there's just so many options that you're able to pave your own path.
I like to introduce sort of basic concepts and then build those concepts around what interests people. We have an Indonesian graduate student who works in the import-export of fresh fruits and vegetables into her country.
Our main responsibility is like making a policy, developing a policy for food safety inspection at the border. So that's why I'm very interested in studying food policy or food governance.
We don't think about human right to food and nutrition. It is a research framework that is being used outside this country. And I think it's very important for students, for researchers, to understand this area more.
In my graduate studies, I'm doing a lot of research with Professor Ani Bellows, and taking a human rights approach has been something that has been new to me, and I found it really interesting.
We are housed within a broader department that includes public health and nutrition.
So they have both kind of the tight-knit community in food studies and this broader department that gives them lots of different kinds of skills and exposure.
So all of this is a planned strategy to crosstalk, to cross-fertilize and do interdisciplinary work within these professions so that we move them along.
We really encourage a lot of students to double major, to minor.
We want students to pursue other areas besides food studies, to develop more skills to help them be successful, whatever they decide to do.
And then in a very practical way, we require for most students to do a practicum.
Students have the opportunity here to have someone like myself who's dedicated to reaching out to specific community partners that have shared food systems goals and are working across the food studies sector.
The food studies program works with a diverse array of people and publics, including farm workers, farmers, for-profit businesses interested in food service, policymakers, and organizations trying to influence policy, including working with veterans and issues around veteran affairs.
Successful internships often lead to employment because you are practicing your job, but you're doing it while you're in college, side by side with learning the theory. It's an excellent way of learning.
I work with them to identify their food studies interests, where they want to be working maybe after they graduate.
So I'm interning at the University United Methodist Church Food Pantry. We have pantry every Friday from 10 to 12. I go in, help different people that are coming through the pantry. I also do stocking, just anything that needs help. I think it's completely different when you're actually seeing it like face to face and like in a hands-on way.
This summer I'll be working on an internship where I am helping advocate for urban agriculture and access to land. I had no plans on focusing on land rights or land issues, but that's where my education here has really driven me and piqued my interest.
They can really tailor their food studies major to something they're specifically interested in and take advantage, whether that's culinary interests, whether it's advocacy interests, whether it's food studies in education or food studies in the law. There's ways that they can build their own experience before they graduate.
So once I'm done here, I want to continue on with higher education enroll in a PhD program, and eventually become a professor.
I'm not thinking of getting a PhD, and I was hoping to get real practical, real-world experience with my food studies major, so I'm planning on doing a practicum this summer.
Most of our students are likely to work directly in food-related industries.
Food in the law, food in education, working for nonprofits, working for unions.
A great deal of organizations from large to small are engaging in food from a variety of angles.
Getting involved in new food movements like local food through managing farmers markets, being involved in the growth of new nonprofits that are trying to do food systems work, local governments establishing things like food policy councils.
And these are not fads, right? Consumers are now awoken to questions of food, questions of what they're putting in their body, questions of how those foods were produced, and that's creating new opportunities in large traditional food industries.
My goals are to have them understand the food system on which we all depend, and then if they are dissatisfied with it, try to change it.
Many people making a difference and taking care of others is where the change is going to come from.